Hi there guys, today I'm going to be doing a thoughts video, like a review of my experience on Battlefield so far, BF1. See, I've had the game for about 5 days now, so I've racked up, quite some time, so I'm just going to share my opinion on some of the problems and some of the good things that I have found in this game. Firstly, I'm going to start off with the good things. The graphics on this game, although it doesn't really affect gameplay too much, are amazing. It is a graphically epic game. And as far as previous Battlefield games have gone, the launch has been pretty stable. Like BF3 and 4 both had terrible launches, but BF3's launch is kind of overshadowed by the fact that the game turned out to be amazing. So people don't really recognise that. Whereas BF4's launch, as you all know, was a joke really, with unplayable maps, etc., blue screens, whatever, terrible gameplay, netcode, and all that. But as far as launch goes, this game is a very stable game at the minute. I mean, the netcode isn't amazing, but that may be down to the 30 Hz servers. I guess when the servers, if the servers get increased to 45 Hz, then netcode issues, problems, whatever, will be minimized. They still will happen because it's online gaming and it is what it is. A further good thing about this game is the new game mode called Operations. For those who don't know what Operations is, it's similar to Rush, but instead of planting a bomb, you cap a flag. So it's like a conquest flag. You just capture a couple of objectives, up to 3 objectives it is, and it is a really well designed game mode in my opinion. It's fun to play. It's reasonably hard if you're on the attacking side, but the main reason this game mode is so good is because you have like 3 chances, I believe. So if your team have 100 tickets, for example, to capture the objectives, if you don't succeed, you will have a second attack, so like a second wave. And yeah, you'll understand when you play it. And overall, it is a fun game mode to play. One of the best game modes to play on this game, to be honest. Yeah, that's most of the good points, really. I mean, the negative things I'm going to start to speak over soon, but to summarise the good points, Operations is a really good game mode that they've created. The graphics are amazing, and overall the game is a very stable game for a launch. It is a stable game in comparison to the previous Battlefield titles. So the bad points. Some of you guys won't agree with my opinion on these bad points, and that's perfectly fine, but go ahead and drop a comment, discuss what you like and dislike yourselves in the game. But firstly, the main thing I dislike is got to be the anti-air cannons around the map. The range on them is just way too far, and the damage output is just insane considering how slow planes are. So for example, if you're flying around the map, you can be you can be across the other side of the map, but if you're visible to a flak, he can hurt you. And the annoying thing as well is it doesn't require any skill whatsoever, because you don't have to physically hit the plane. You just have to hit, pretty close to the plane. Which I understand that's how flak works. However, the damage output just means that is just an overpowered feature. Considering there's so many flak AAs positioned around the map, if the enemy team wanted to, they could literally render your team useless in the air, purely because of the power of the AA. It's just impossible to, if an AA is watching you, you can't take it out in a plane. There's no way. Like, unless he turns away, you're not gonna kill somebody on the AA because it's just too strong. Also, the big problem with the planes is the fact that you can take a very small amount of damage, like 10% damage, but because of the wing damage feature in this game, your wing will be temporarily, disabled. So what that means is you can't turn as tight, you can't pull up as well, etc. It's basically hindering your plane's ability to maneuver, which is stupid because 10% damage is minor. 20% damage, that's still pretty low. You shouldn't be, your wings shouldn't be getting as much of a problem as they do just off that. It's just stupid. It renders dogfights pretty much impossible to have. Well, it's not impossible, but impossible to have a competitive, fun dogfight, I guess, purely because it's just a little bit of damage and boom, that guy's maneuverability is hindered. You know, you're easily going to take him out, which I understand adds a cool feature to a dogfight because it's, you know, somewhat realistic, but it's not fun. It's a good feature, but it needs to be turned down. You should have to take at least 50 damage before you wing, or say take 40 damage directly to a wing in order to trigger the damage, because currently it's just stupid. You're forced to self-repair, which takes, I don't know, 10 seconds, and you're just flying in a straight line for 10 plus seconds purely because you've taken 10% damage, which is, it sounds stupid me saying it, and that's just how it is. Gas grenades, I like this idea of gas grenades because everybody does have a gas mask, so you know you can prevent damage from gas grenades. But I think 2 gas grenades per person is too much, because one, if there's say 10 people throwing gas, there is gases everywhere, and in choke points I've seen it a lot where people just spam gas and they're pre-aiming this gassed up area, whereas those within the gas can only hip fire, so that choke point is rendered useless until the gas clears for the attackers, because running in hip firing against the head glitcher, you know, it's not the best idea, and you probably won't be successful. And yes, that wouldn't be so bad, but the regen for grenades from support guys now is again really fast. Like, you can keep gassing an area out if you've got a couple of supports next to you, so I think 2 gas grenades per person is a bit too much, and I think the gas grenade actually lasts a little too long. I don't agree with how long the gas grenade lasts, because it's just annoying. Normal grenades are just overpowering. Like, you can be reasonably firing it to do a large chunk of damage or kill you from a grenade, and it's just stupid. The main problem with these grenades is the fact you can throw them so far. Like, your guy throws grenades at like over 100 miles an hour. You can just launch it into a room, and boom, there you go. There's a free kill. In terms of competitive for this game, in its current state, I don't see a very competitive game due to the casual-fied kind of use of anti-air and other reasons that you'll probably recognise yourself. The spawn menu is like, if you ever went in commander mode on BF4, you can kind of see people running around. The spawn menu, you can see tanks, infantry, planes all flying around the map as you're looking at a bird's eye view of the map live. So in terms of a competitive conquest game, if that were to happen, and then if you've lost sight of the enemy team's tank, you can most likely see it by just dying or asking somebody who's dead to look on the map, which means rotations and flanks and that could be called out simply by somebody looking at the spawn menu, almost like a spectator, which is also, you know, a very stupid thing. Snipers are overused in terms of pubs. They're just way too powerful. I get one-shotted all the time by them. You'll look at the enemy team and you can actually see what class they're using, and at least a third of the team on most occasions is scout, and it's just, I understand snipers should be powerful, but it gets really frustrating fighting snipers all the time, or getting shot in the back by snipers just sitting on the edge of the map. Aim assist is annoying, but obviously that's a public thing. If combat were to happen, it's not going to exist, so I'm not going to talk too much about aim assist. The weapon balance is okay, it's not the best. I just feel snipers are way too powerful. I've saw people moaning saying some of the medic guns are OP, but I'd say they're reasonably balanced. Serigotti may be a little too good at close quarters. However, I don't think the weapon balance on this game is too bad. It seems reasonably good. It's just no weapons are really that versatile. You know, if you're using a sub, you're only going to be effective up close. If you're using a rifle, you're going to, you know, you're going to be okay at close and a bit medium. It's not like BF4, BF3 where you can use AK, M16 and you're pretty effective at all ranges. So that's one thing you got to adapt to. But overall, there's a lot of annoyances in this game. Actually, a further point is the lack of weapons and the lack of maps. I think there's only 6 maps. I mean, I understand DLC maps and weapons will come out, but I just don't like the fact that there's such a small amount of stuff. Like it's quite boring already. It's like everything's the same on this game. It's like even the weapon customization is so limited that it's like you haven't got anything to kind of like work towards in terms of your weapon. You know, for example, on BF4, if you wanted a coyote sight on some guns, you know, you had to get X amount of kills to get the battle patch to try and get that sight. On this game, you unlock the gun, and all you can do is take your bayonet off, add a camo, and maybe change the iron sights. That's literally it. So it's like you use the gun, and that's it. You got nothing else to work for that gun. So the customization isn't a great thing, which normally doesn't bother me, but because really in past Battlefields there's been so many options, whereas this one it's just nothing really. It's just here's your gun, go ahead. I understand it is World War One and they're trying to keep it real as possible, which I see is pointless because this game is far from realistic. So adding some, maybe like not modern, you know, red dots, but maybe similar, just you know, different shaped sights, just to make it look a bit more modern with an older kind of view. I don't know. It is what it is, and lack of options for customization is kind of annoying. So that's my main points for this game at the minute. Tell me if you agree in the comments, and go ahead and share your opinions on BF1. Thanks.